welcome back. So the next video we're going to be doing is on how to build a chart for trading. So this one here, which we have on the screen, is Tradingview. I like this one the most currently because you get lots of indicators. It actually covers cryptocurrencies as well, including futures and a bunch of other stuff like Forex and all that type of stuff. So it covers a lot of different stuff. The big part with this one here is you do get alerts. So here at the top you get alerts. If you watched the first video, I mentioned how I use alerts to let me know when a stock is in play or when I should probably get out. If you haven't used alerts before, I think it's a really good tool to be using because it allows you to find the right time to get into a stock and the right time to get out without missing it because of work obligations or whatever. So anyways, it has alerts, which I couldn't seem to find on any of the other ones. I used to use freestockcharts.com, and I used to also use stockcharts.com and a few other ones, and how the market works I used to use as paper trading. But this one here, Tradingview.com has paper trading as well, and that's what I used to do paper trading on how the market works website. But I find I can do all that here with Tradingview, so it tends to be my go-to for my real charting as well as my paper trading. So I have a new account made here just to show you guys how it works. This is my first login and a view of the chart. Let's just bring this screen here over. So I'm just going to do a quick walkthrough. It automatically populates a candle chart. So like I mentioned before, candles basically work. I'll zoom really close in so you can see it. If you have a green candle, it basically means that when this day started, so this is a daily chart, the stock opened at this level right here. It went down to as low as where that wick is, and then it went all the way up. So it turns green as it goes up. It went as high as the top wick, and then it pulled back to here before the market closed that day. That's how the green one works. And then of course for the red one, pretty much the same. It started here. It went as high as that wick that's there, that little wick. Then it went all the way down, and then it went down as far as where the wick went, and then it closed at the end of the day here. So that's a basic understanding of how the candles work. The next thing is we're going to stick our indicators on. I'm just going to minimize this paper trading part first just to make the chart bigger. So let's go over to, if you look at the top here, it says indicators. That's where you're going to find your moving averages. Now there's a couple options here. With the free account, which is what I have here, you get, I believe, 3 indicators. So you can have your RSI, your 50, and your 20 moving average. But there is another option. If you type in SMA, you can see here there's a bunch of different ones that they already have done up. This one here actually gives you 1, 2, 3, 4 different indicators. And you see how it says 10, 50, 100, 200. These are already preset, but you can actually go in and change those if you want. I'm just going to show you. The only problem I have with using these ones is you run into the issue where when you're trying to set up alerts, you can get confused because it doesn't specifically say 10, 50, 100, and 200. It would be 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it can get a little confusing that way. Anyways, if I put that on, so one of my slots is taken up for what indicators I can have. I still have 2 more indicators I can put on the free account. Now, if you purchase an account, you can just whack on everything you want. RSIs, MACD, the whole works if you want. A bunch of moving averages. So you'll see you have a bunch here. If you go in, I'll just do a quick run through just to show you. You'll see here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them right here. So move this over. So you see this is the 10, the green one here. If I change length number 1, which is 10 to 20, now it automatically becomes the 20, and this one's obviously 50, 100, and 200. If I wanted to change this one to, what else, 10, So length number 3 is this one. If I change that to 10, you'll notice it moves right up and becomes a 10. So even though they're already preset, you can change them on this type of program. Now the other thing is you have your input, which just basically gives you your numbers. But if you go to style, they actually match up 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let me just change that one back to 100 so it won't be confusing. So what I'll do here is for the 20, which is this green one, I'm going to, which is length 1, is the 20. I'm going to go into the style, and the 20 here, it says SMA 1, which means simple moving average. You can use exponential, but I just use simple, is easier to follow, and the exponential is a little bit more forward looking, so it can be a bit more accurate, but I tend to just go with the simple because if that's what most people are using, it's the simple moving averages. It's just will follow what everyone else is doing. That way it's going to be more accurate. Anyways, so we have our SMA 1, which is length 1, and that's 20. We can go in here, we can change the color. Like I say, I like the lighter color blue for our 20 and the darker color for our 50. So I'll go with the lighter color blue for our 20, and you can actually change how thick you want the line. So it's nice and thin, really thick if you want to see it better, but change it to whatever color you want. And then you can do number 2, change that to the dark blue. So we have our dark blue. They got it a little bit transparent here, so I can turn the transparency off so it's darker. The only thing is you can't see the candlesticks if you don't have a little bit of transparency there. Oh, patency, they got it called. Why I call it transparency, I don't know. Anyways, so that's pretty much how you set up the colors. And of course, if you don't want the 100 and 200 there, you can just check them off. So then you just have your 2 moving averages. And then if you go over here, this is the one where you have the problem when you're using it this way. If I want to disable the 20, I can't using the eyeglass here because it just turns all of those moving averages off. So I actually have to double click on it here, and then I have to disable the 50 here, and then you run into, okay, what is the number 2? And you got to come back here and say 2 is 2, and then I'm going to disable it. So it just makes it a little bit more slower paced doing it that way. But if you're using a free account, this is the easiest way to go about doing it because you get more indicators without having to put any money into your charting software. So with that being said, I am going to remove this one completely because we're just using the 50 and the 20. So I'm going to go back up to indicators. I'm going to type MA for moving average, and you'll see moving average. Click on that one. I'm going to click on it a second time. So now we have 2 of them on here. X that out. Oh, we want the RSI as well. Let's put that in. Like I say, I like using the RSI just to give me an idea of if I should be cautious about where the market is. If it's overbought and oversold, just gives you a good idea of, be prepared to get out, be prepared to get in. It doesn't necessarily mean to get out or get in, but it gives you a little bit extra guidance. So RSI, Relative Strength Index is what it's called. I'm not going to explain exactly what it is or how it works. You don't really need to know it. I like to have it at the top, but you can have it at the bottom. I'll move it up to the top where I like it. And of course, there's a line. So this button here moves stuff up and down. As you can see here, it's automatically adjusted to 70 for the higher range and 30 for the bottom. But you can scale it up and down by clicking here. Not scale it, but you can double click if you want to change the numbers. So your 30 and your 70 and 50 is the midline. You can change all that stuff if you want. I don't really play with it. I just stick with what the machine gives me. And then, of course, you can change your colors there as well, but we'll talk about that later. So RSI, you can change it to an orange color, red, whatever. You can change your colors in the background. As you can see, we have a transparent type of purple color. We can change that to a yellow. Or you can have like a red, whatever. Good. So lots of different stuff here. And then of course you can change your line, the length of it. I'm just going to click OK. We'll stick with what we have here. And then if you come to this line here that separates the two parts, you can move that up just so it's out of the way a bit, so it's not taking up all your chart space. Now we have our two RSIs, and both of them are set at 9, so I'm basically just going to go in and change them. So to do that, I'll come here and these 3 little dots, click here and click on settings, change the first one to 20. Oh, not 920. So that one's done, and of course I like a certain color, so a lighter color blue. I'll stick with that. Maybe a bit lighter. I just makes it easier for me to understand it. I'm going to make the line really thick. I'm going to turn the opaquency down just so the candlesticks can be seen through it. So that one's done. Going to go back to input, make sure it's 20. All right, good stuff. Click OK. Then of course the next one is the one here. So we click the 3 dots, click the settings, change the input length to 50 for this one. Go into style, and of course I like to have a dark color blue for this one, make it a bit thicker so we can see it. Change the opaquency a little bit so we can see the candlesticks behind, because it's hard to tell if it's closed if the line's real thick, closing above or below, because the line could be covering it. And then we click our OK button. So now we have our 20 and 50, and if you want to make one disappear, you just come up here, your 20, your 50, click on the eyeball. That will make them disappear or reappear. Cool, simple enough. So that's basically how you set up the chart. Now we're going to get into changing the background colors and all that type of stuff as well if you want to play with that. Real simple. You can click here with your opposite mouse button, right mouse button, and click settings, or you can click the settings button down here, a little gear. You click on that and then click settings. So in here we're going to go right to the top and start from the beginning. So we have our body. You can change the colors of the candles if you want. You can make them brighter, darker, whatever you want. I'll make it brighter. Nah, let's stick with what's there. So you can change the colors if you want. You can change your borders. So if you want to have them outlined in black, as you can see here, they're outlined in black. That works as well. You can just change all this fancy stuff if you want. I don't really play with that stuff too much. You can change the color of the wicks if you want. Now here's one thing I want to mention. Like I mentioned in the very first video, if you miss your opportunity to buy the stock on a breakout and the market's already after closing, you can, not all brokers offer it, but you can buy pre and post market. So after the market closes, there's a few hours where you can still buy the stock at either the close price, sometimes a bit higher, sometimes a bit lower. If you can get it lower than the close price, great. You have your pre and post market hour backgrounds. So like I say, you can change the colors here. Now I'm just going to close this out so I can show you the difference here. You see here, you're not going to see it on a daily chart anyway, but if you're going to trade pre and post market, just put on like a 5-minute chart, 1 hour chart, something that's less than 1 day. Now right now you cannot see the pre and post market, but if I go back to my settings and click on symbol, you'll see session here. It says regular. If you click on extended, then you're going to see your pre and post market. So all the time between here is the market hours. This little gray area is your post market. So after the market closes, you still got what looks like 1, 2. There's the hourly chart. So you still got 1, 2, 3 hours that you can still buy that share. It looks like it's even lower. No, roughly around the same price that the market closed at. So that's another option. However, if you wait until the next morning, it's already going to open at that higher price. So if you wait until the morning, you can still get in before the market opens. Preferably you want to get in down here. And sometimes sometimes it might even be down here and you can buy here and then automatically opens up here. But with that being said, that doesn't always work. So yeah, you can buy it before the market opens. You can buy it or sorry, you can buy it after the market closes, or you can buy it in the 3 hours before the market opens, or whatever hours it runs. I think it's just 3 hours on each end outside of market hours. And like I say, not every broker gives you this option to do pre and post market. So you have to check with your broker on that part, if they offer it and how you go about doing it, because it's going to be a different order than if you're just putting in your standard orders. So I am going to go back to the daily chart now. Let's go back to the settings. So we're back into the settings. So we got our pre and post market lines, and that's just lines that show the prices. We already showed you how to put on your extended hours, which is your pre and post market, and then you got your background colors for that. Next thing we're going to do is go to scale. There's not a whole lot in here I really play with. No, not a whole lot there. Appearance, here we go. So right now the background is very boring. It's white. You can change that to black if you want. Give it a black background if you like that. If you like a certain gradient, you can go with that as well. So say you change it from solid to gradient, change your first color to like a dark blue if you like that type of stuff, and then you can use like a really light blue and have something like that. Now you might have to change the brightness on your candles and stuff. I just find it keeps your charts from feeling boring. If you switch up the gradient, you can do themes. If you want to do Halloween, do like oranges and browns. If you want to do like a seasonal one for December, you can do whatever. I don't know, red and white. I don't know, whatever colors you think would work. But I'm just going to stick on orange and white. That's the colors I tend to like the most. That orange is a bit on the bright side though. The lighter orange and white, that's the colors I like. I find it fits pretty good for me. So that chart looks nice and pretty. Next thing, you have your vertical and horizontal lines. So these little lines here in the back that separate your price ranges. So it's going to separate certain prices here, and it's also going to separate for this one, it's going to separate a couple days. So if I zoom in, will it show it? Roughly this one here, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so a couple days anyway. Anyways, gives you your grids here. Just makes the chart look neater if you have some grid lines just to use. So you can adjust those if you want. If you want to have them red, you can. You can't see it, it's pretty transparent. Well, you turn it up or down, so you can play with that stuff as well. I'm just going to turn that part off, and so that's that part. Next one is the margins. So when you open your chart, if you have no right margins, your last candlestick is going to be stuck right on this scale here. So if you give it a margin, I usually go with like 10%, so you have a little bit of a gap here when you first start, rather than having to adjust it right away. You can have a gap at the top, you can have a gap at the bottom. You may have to adjust it based on where your charts are. So you see how this is all the way down here. If you change your bottom margin to say 20, it just brings it up a bit away from the volume. And I don't use volume a whole lot, so you can disable it if you want. You can just hide it, or you come up here and you can just click on the eye to turn the volume off if you want. Some people like to look at volume, so when you see a breakout, you'll see the volume match up with it. I mean, it's up to yourself. I really don't look at it, so it's up to yourself. You can put it on or take it off. But if you want to have a little bit of a gap away from that volume, because it is sort of the same colors, you can change that to a number that you like, just so it's not down into that volume area. And then of course, if you're If your chart is all the way at the top here, I'll just take off the top margin, 0. You're going to have it right up to the top here. If you don't like that and you're trying to draw like lines or trend lines and stuff, it just makes it difficult to move where it's stuck at the top. So you can give it a little bit of space at the top here. That's basically what these margins are. Gives you a little bit of room for to play with your chart. So this is pretty much it for appearance. And then for trading, I don't really play with this one. I don't want to play with too much, and then you have events and stuff. You can actually turn on what stuff you see at the bottom here. So if you like, I just canceled the whole work. Let's go back in and fix that. Appearance, gradient, orange and white. Okay at this time instead of cancel. So it looks nice and pretty. Alright, so another thing is if you want to keep the volume there and you just don't like it being matching up with your candlesticks, you can go into settings on that one and just change it to a little bit more transparent so it's not so visible. That way it doesn't stand out so much. I do that sometimes. Yeah, that's pretty much it for your appearance and stuff. Now at the bottom here, there's these little tiny marks. You can see there's a D, there's an E, and then of course you have your forward looking stuff. So if you have a specific stock you're into, sometimes the earnings can really be a bit sketchy. If a bad earnings comes out, it can drop your stock. If good earnings comes out, it can make your stock move. So if you feel like the earnings of a stock is probably not going to be good, you can look at that. So if you look here, it will show you some of the data for it. And basically this is base per share. So it basically says that the company earned 1.3 of a dollar per share price. And it was a surprise 0.29, which was 28% surprise in earnings. So that was a good thing. It just means it made more money than was estimated. So it's just nice little things you can look at. This one here is basically going to give you what they think the estimate is. So there's an estimate of 1.23, so $1.23 profit for that particular earnings season. They're expecting that, and if they get above it, then it can make the share price move up, and if they get below it, it might make the share price go down. It all depends on what the investors decide to do, buy it or sell it. But it gives you an idea of when earnings are coming out. That's the most volatile point for a stock. So when you start hitting around that time, just be a bit more cautious because you don't know when it's going to drop off. And then of course you have your D at the bottom, and this is your dividend. So if you're not familiar with dividends, companies do pay their shareholders some of the profit when they earn it. So they have earnings and then they have dividends right after. Some stocks actually pay a monthly dividend, so you can use it as an income, almost like real estate. You get a monthly payment. But anyways, this one does it right after the earnings. So earnings comes out, they make a good profit, and then they pay their shareholders a little bit of money. So if you own this stock, every share that you own, you will get 22 cents for every share that you own. So if you own 100 shares, you get 22 bucks deposited in your account a little while after this. So this is the dividend ex-dividend date. So if you're in the stock this day, this date, the next day, you're guaranteed a dividend even if you sell it the next day. Just something to look into. You can check that out. I do dividends sometimes as well, but it's nice to know if you're getting a little bit of an income from it. I should also mention, usually when a dividend comes out, it's actually taken value out of the company to give to the shareholders. So it's not uncommon, 22 cents for the share price the next day to drop by as much as 22 cents. Because you're taking the value out of the company to give to the shareholder, so obviously the shares are going to actually drop 68 cents. But it should drop the next day after the dividend is released by the amount the dividend is worth. So you're not really losing value on your company, but you're getting it in your pocket. So the share price will go down to pay up for that money they're taking out of the company to give to you. So just be aware of that. You're not just going to buy a dividend and then automatically you get free money. It's not free money. They're actually taking it out of your share price. Free money is if the company is earning a good profit, like 28.6% above estimates. If they're making a good profit, that's how you're earning money. The dividends are just like thanks for being an investor. Here's a part of the company back to you pretty much, except you don't lose your shares. It comes back to you in cash. But if they don't offer a dividend, it will stay in the share price and keep the share price higher. Hope that made sense. Anyways, that's dividends. Then, of course, on the other side, I don't really use this bottom one, so you can drag that down, get it out of the way if you want. You have your watch list. So at the watch list, you can click the plus at the top here, and the plus will actually allow you to add more to here. So then you just get a list of stocks that you're following, which is fairly simple. So we have your S&P 500, NASDAQ. These are the actual indexes, so the higher 1500, yeah, a little bit more than most people can afford. You have your VIX, Apple, Tesla, Netflix. So these are just the generic ones that come with it. You got your cryptos, and you notice how they already have the tags on here. You can rename them or add new ones, so you can actually sort them based on, say, if this one was oil stocks, and this one here was I don't know, ETFs, and another one was technology stocks. So you can organize it whatever way you want, and you just keep adding more to it, and just using them here. And you can flag them as well. So if you want to flag them, like if I bought Apple and I want to keep track of it, I can click it off here, and that way when I come in to look at the charts, I know, okay, Apple I already have, so I'm going to check that one out. So just stuff like that. Now if you got the purchased account, you can change the color of the flags as well. So just something to just give you a little bit extra tools to play with. Now the next thing we're going to talk about is the alerts. This is a very important part. You can click on the alert up here at the top. That'll bring it up. Now, of course, this new account doesn't have any. The easiest way, I'm just going to turn the 20 off just to get the confusion out. If I'm using the 20 for an entry, I will click on the 50-day moving average. I'm going to click on it with the right mouse button, and you can see Add Alert. So you click on Add Alert. Sometimes these things are a bit messed up, so I'm going to tell you how you would actually set it up. So the condition will apply to the actual share price. So you want the share price, so Apple share price, you want it to cross. Now you can specify what way you want it to cross, up or down, but you can just click cross if you want. And instead of having a value, because you don't want to put in a specific number because it's going to keep going up, that moving average, you can actually set whatever moving averages we have here. So I'm going to put it on the 50 moving average. So, and I'm only going to get it to signal me once, or you can have it once per bar. You don't really need to do that for this strategy. Once per minute if you want it to be drove nuts, but only once you can set up, and then you can set an expiration date. So with the free account, you can only go out so far. I'm not really sure how far. Let's try. Oh, they already got it flagged out, so I can only go to the 14th of December, so that will give me 2 months. So it gives you 2 months. Now if you have the free the purchased account, you can whack that right out 6 months if you want to. Now how do you want to be notified? You can be notified on the app. So if you got the app on your phone, you can do that. That's one way. You can have a pop-up which will flag down here if it gets triggered. That's for people who actually have time to look at the charts all the time. You can have it send an email. Now you will have to set, I would assume the email would be the email you set your account up with, so there shouldn't be too much of an issue there. And then of course we have more. And you can play a sound. Here we go. Send an email to SMS. So this is a text message. If you click on that, you put your email in to activate it, and then you can have text messages get sent to you as soon as it's triggered. So that's the that's the one I use, and I always have my email as a backup as well. So I'll get an email, and I'll also get a text message. So if I get the text message, and if I'm not in a cell phone service area, I will get an email as well that will let me know. And then you want an alert name. So for Apple, you can put down buy. Not to say you're going to buy, but and so that's the alert name, and then you can put down Apple 50-day cross. Just so you know why you're getting the alert. Then you create it. Oh, maximum expiration day is over 60 days. Yeah, out too far. There we go. So a little bit less than 60 days. So we have it here. This is our alerts, and you notice that it's right here. I think you can only do one with the free account. But if you have the purchase account, you can have a whack load of alerts here. So you could have literally 10 stocks ready to buy and only get notified when they're ready to be bought. So I'm going to turn the 20 on, see if we can set up one for that on the free account as well. I'm just going to run through this one real quick. I'm going to have Apple crossing the 20-day moving average only once. I want to be notified by app, pop-up, and an email, and I don't have this text message set up, so I can't really set that one up. And just type some random stuff in here just to get it going. Create. There you go. Never miss a trade with our service, server-side alerts. So you can do a 30-day free trial if you want to try it out. But anyways, you only get one. So that's it. You get the one, and like I say, if you purchase the subscription for Tradingview, even the basic package, you'll get multiple alerts that you can use. And the alert log will show you any ones that got activated as well. Alright, before we finish up here, I'm going to show you one more thing. This time I'm going to show you about the paper trading. So right here at the bottom, you're going to click Trading Panel. And you'll see here paper trading, and if you're not sure what paper trading is, it basically means you can trade with fake money. So you can get real good at trading long before you put real money into this stuff. So, and I highly recommend, do not start trading unless you're, if you got money that you don't care about losing, that's up to you. But I highly recommend you use paper trading software. So you can use this one. How the Market Works is another one that I used to use, and there's a bunch of other ones online. Anyways, I'll just show you. So instantly, Uncle Hugh is the account I set up for this. But anyways, they will give you $100,000 of fake money that you can use to try to trade. So your goal is to use $100,000 to try to make money. So if you want to do a trade, so say if Apple just broke out. What's one that broke out recently? See if I can remember one. So if you go up to the symbol here and click, you get a list here. You can actually look at stocks, futures, forex for screeners. Just show you that as well. So indexes. But if I go to all, and I'm going to type in which one broke the 50 recently? Google. Alright, so we have Google. Let's click on it. Let's find the right one. I'm going to take that L out. So there's a bunch here. You want to look for the American one, because that's the main one. Google. Where's the one? Oh, here we go. The NASDAQ. So we have our NASDAQ. You got the American flag, so you know it's the correct one. Man, stop moving. There we go. Alphabet. Click here. Now, a lot of people can't really trade Google because of the price. So you can see here, it's like almost $3,000 for one share. So not everybody can trade it. I think they should do a split to let the new traders or retail investors have more access to it. But anyways, I'm just going to take the 20 off for now just to show you. So right here, I actually bought this one. So you see Google broke the 50 right here. So I would buy right here because it broke the 50. And I'm pretty much flat right now, but it's not below the 50, so I'm pretty happy I haven't sold it yet. So that's one setup I have done here. But let's say it was yesterday at this point and you want to set up a trade with your paper account. You can click on the three dot. Oh, never mind, not the three dots. You click with your right mouse click anywhere down in this area. So you can click on Uncle Hugh or whatever your username is, paper trading, doesn't matter. And you can just click on create new order. We're going to get it up here. Now you have to figure this out on your own, the ask price and the bid price. So you see sell, buy and sell. This is your ask price, this is your bid price. So there's people who are trying to buy it at a cheaper price and people are trying to sell it at a higher price. So that's sort of your range here. And it shows in the middle the difference between the two is about 99 cents. So about $1. Now it's $1.30. You can try buying it at the lower price, but just remember you need a seller to sell it to you. So if you try to buy it at this lower price, it might take a little while before your shares are bought. But if you want your shares right away, you can just buy right at what people are asking for. So if I click on there, that price will come down here. Just make sure it matches up because you don't want to accidentally buy it for more. Now this one's a bit different. I guess that's how low you're willing to buy below that. Like I say, this is my first time. And of course, it's nearly $3,000, so I'm only going to buy one share. Now, if you want to do like a take profit or stop loss, if you don't know what a stop loss is, that's just basically a way of getting out of the shares automatically. So if you set up, say, I wouldn't, like this one fluctuates several dollars, like 1%. If you want to automatically get out of a stock, if it drops by 10%, you can set a stop loss up. But I'm not going to do that because I tend to do it at the end of the day and I use alerts. So I'm not going to play with stop losses or take profits. And I have alerts that will let me know if it is dropping. Hopefully they work. My broker also sends me alerts as well, so I have 2 alerts that come in to let me know if it's fallen below a certain point. Anyways, with that being said, once you have your good price, you've matched it up with where you want to buy it, you click on the buy, and because I bought it at the bid, the order got placed, and I think it might have to modify it. So you have, if you come down here, positions, we don't have any positions, but we have an order in, and you'll see down here, the order's in to buy, but the price has already gone up. Oh, no, it dropped back down to a point where it got executed. So you see, it went through, and now it changed over to position. So right now, I have a position with paper money in Google, 1 share of Google, and that's the price I paid. And then it shows the current price that is going at. So right now I'm down $1.80, $1.38. So it just basically, when you see your exit point, you come back in, you click on this little pencil. Oh, that's to modify. So you can modify your order as well by clicking the pencil, or you can just click down here, close position. So when you're ready to close it, you click close position. You can, if you have like 100 shares and you only want to sell 20 or 50, you can do a partial and select a number. Or I'm going to close the whole position and probably take a 61-cent loss. Close the position, and that is done. Now you want to do your bid and ask stuff for that as well. Well, just showing you how it works. So you see 0, position is 0. I'm down a few cents. There's no, you can go on and look at your previous orders that went through, same as you would with your broker. You can see your history and you can see your account history. And then you can see, if you go into your account history, you can actually see that's the trade you made, which was Google, and you lost 87 cents on that trade. So nice little summary if you want to go back and see how you're doing. Like I say, I do recommend you get very good at paper trading before you actually touch real money. Anyways, that's pretty much it for setting up charts and playing with paper trading and all that type of stuff. So if you like this video, click the like, subscribe, and if you hit that bell icon, I'm sure all the videos that we come out with will let you know. We do have another video coming out soon on how to find good stocks to trade. I have a few methods I use to find the good ones, and I'll show you that in the next video. And if you haven't watched our previous videos, we have a 1-hour video on how to do this trading strategy, and we also have a 30-minute video which is basically all trading. So if you're looking for the more detailed stuff, including how to use pre and post markets and that type of stuff, check out the first video. And then if you want to do the short and sweet video, that's just a quick run through the trading process. No fine details, just specifically trading setups. So anyways, if you like this video, like I said, like and subscribe. Click that bell if you want to be notified about any new videos. Thank you very much and have a great day.